Hey YouTube, it is right now, as of this recording, it is almost Valentine's Day, and it is time to talk about French macarons. If you've ever experienced the perfection of a Parisian macaron, that little cookie that is like a light crispy outer, soft chewy center with a little buttercream or ganache center, you can make these at home. You don't have to fly all the way to Paris to get them. This is 6 ingredients that you probably already have in your kitchen, and there is a little bit of a learning curve to them, but if you can master them, you can turn out really amazing macarons in your kitchen, and I'm going to show you how to do that. These are actually from a recipe that I used way back in my cake bakery days when I used to do a lot of wedding cakes. These are the macarons that I made back in the day for a photo shoot that we did that was very cookie oriented and very French, and they turned out amazing and I couldn't stop eating them. So let's make these together, and if you have time before Valentine's Day, you can whip these up and impress your family or your loved ones with a very amazing special treat. Let's check it out. Before we start, let's dig into some of the things you're going to need and the ingredients. And this is really simple. And on this recipe, I actually weigh these. So we are going to be looking for 8 ounces of powdered sugar, 4 ounces of walnuts, 5 ounces of egg whites, 2.5 ounces of organic white sugar, a half a teaspoon of kosher salt, and 2 teaspoons of the best vanilla you can spend money on. And then for supplies, you will need a food processor and a stand mixer with a whisk, and your cookie sheets with parchment. And we're going to be drawing a 1.5 inch circle, and it turns out that one of these, the bottom is 1.5 inch. So we're going to be tracing circles to make the template for these cookies to go inside the circle. So we'll trace those next, and we are going to need, this is 16 inch. The recipe actually calls for 18 inch, but I am using a 16 inch pastry bag from my long ago cake making days, and we're going to be using just the adapter that goes in the end of it, and that will be the hole that we're going to be piping the cookie batter out through. And if you have a big round tip on an icing bag, you could use it. I'm just cheating and using this, and that's what I've done in the past, and it's always worked. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble that. We'll get some circles drawn, and then we'll get the batter put together. And once you have all of your circles drawn on this side of the parchment, and I put it on the curly side so you can flip this, because we're going to use this as a guide, but we don't want the ink getting close to the food, so we're going to flip this over and put it ink side down on your cookie sheet. So we are going to get about 2 dozen of these on each tray, and this recipe should make, it says it makes 4.5 dozen, so let's see if my old measurements are correct. And for tools, you're also going to need a sifter, sieve, and another clean bowl to sift into, because we're going to be combining the nuts and the powdered sugar, and then sifting that mixture before we put it in the egg whites. I've already got the oven preheated to 300. That's all you're going to need. And I have my cookie sheets already ready. What we're going to do to start is we're going to combine the nuts and the powdered sugar in your big bowl of a food processor. And I just kind of spread it so it's evenly distributed, but it's going to mix together. And for this first round, we're going to process this together for about a minute on high. Once we've run that through the food processor, we're going to sift it once. And what we're wanting to do here is just basically sift out any of the bigger pieces of nut that might be still lurking around in this mix. So what we want to do is just sift this all the way through and see if you have any larger pieces of nut left in this mix. And if we do, we're going to run those back to the food processor for another minute, and usually you'll end up with about 2 tablespoons of that slightly larger nut bits, which is okay. We're going to add it back to it, but we do want to sift that out. Take the extra step and stand here forever and sift this back out. After you've tried to push this through your sifter for a while, you might realize you probably had time to fly to Paris and buy these cookies and fly home with them. This is really slow. So I've just done that for what felt like about 10 years, and what's left is the bits that will not go through this double-walled sifter. So we're going to put this back in the food processor, and we're going to process this on high for about another minute. So we are going to take that little bit and sift it once again. And if we've done it right, and I'm using walnuts, I'm not sure how this would do with any other nut, but once you're done sifting this through again, you should have about 2 tablespoons of nut material that just won't go through the sifter. So I just changed out to a smaller one, and we'll see how much we get left of the nut material. Ta-da, exactly. It says you should have about 2 tablespoons or less of the nut that wouldn't fit, so that is fine. That's probably not even 2 tablespoons, so I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that to the mix, and I'm just going to kind of sift it just so it's kind of distributed amongst all the fine stuff. So you've got your nut and powdered sugar is now combined, and we're ready to go over to the stand mixer and start whipping some egg whites. Here's where we're going to be adding your egg whites, and make sure you weigh these. Don't measure it, just weigh it. It seems to come out a lot more exact. You're going to add your egg whites, your sugar. This is your white sugar as opposed to your powdered sugar we used in the nut mix, and your salt. And we're going to set this stand mixer on a 4, which is like a medium, and we're going to whip this for 3 solid minutes. At the end of that 3 minutes, we're going to turn it up to a 7 and mix it for 3 more minutes, and then up to an 8 and 3 more minutes. So you're beating these for 9 minutes total. And you should have a ball of that in your whip. If it doesn't stick in the whip like that, you need to whip it for like another minute. But at this point is where you're going to add any flavoring or coloring. And this is 2 teaspoons of vanilla and a drop of red food coloring because I want these to be pink. But if you've ever tried the 99 flavors of La Durée Parisian macarons, you know that they play with all kinds of fun flavors. So these are just going to be vanilla, and I'm going to just be filling them with a basic filling. So I'm going to add this to the egg whites and whip it for 1 more minute, and we'll see what color we end up with. All right, and that is a perfect Valentine's pink. I am super excited about that. And it's a big mass of it stuck in the whip, which means it's whipped enough. And we are going to now, we've whipped it into a solid, almost dry. There's no sheen left almost on these egg whites. And now we're going to start kind of deflating it, because if you look into macaronage, as per the French, the whole point of this is to whip the egg whites and then basically beat them back down into a cookie. So we're going to get this whip cleaned out and start adding our nut mixture. What we're going to do now is take all of our nut ingredients with the sugar, and we're going to add it all at once, which feels weird if you're used to working with egg whites and like if you make angel food or whatnot, but this is a whole different ball game. And now we start combining this by basically folding, but also by pressing it against the side of the bowl, because at this point it's gonna seem wrong, but we're wanting to deflate these eggs. So we're doing kind of a pressing and a folding, and at first it will not feel like it's gonna go together, but it will. We're pressing, and the point is to deflate these eggs, which again, counterintuitive, but it's all part of the magic. And those are incorporating pretty nicely already. You can see that deflating as it's being incorporated. After about 25 strokes of this, the mixture will still be pretty lumpy. So I'm going to do maybe 10 more. And when you get to that point of 25 of these fold and kind of press motions, we're going to add another 15 of those folds to this, and then you will see batter that is just about right. So let's go 15 more. Okay, there's about 15 more, and that looks really, really nice. So the goal here is to have a finished batter that will be thick enough that it will mound up on itself, but liquidy enough that it will sort of settle back down after about 20 seconds. So at this point, we are going to get our pastry bag ready. And if you've never filled a pastry bag, it's pretty easy. Just fold it down over your hand, or you can put it over a cup if you want. And you want to be careful because you don't want it to come out through the end. And my little trick for that is to just put like some sticky saran wrap or something over that end, just so you're not filling it on one end and having it pour out through the bottom, because it's a pretty big opening on this one. And we're gonna just carefully add this down inside the pastry bag, and we're gonna pipe it into these circles. And these are 1.5-inch circles. We're gonna just stop just slightly short of inside the circle, so that the cookies have a little room to expand to, you know, to fill the 1.5-inch, because they are going to settle a little as they sit on the tray. This looks really good. And as you get to the top, you can take an old cup and just put that down in it carefully like that, and then you can kind of have access to that, so you can put the rest of this in, because we don't want to miss even one drop of this gorgeous batter. Since this tip is really big, I would recommend you use a smaller tip where you have some control, because it's wanting to just pour out. So what I'm going to do is just sort of allow it to pour out to the center of one of these and just kind of lift it up as it fills the center. And you're going to let it spread into, you know, out into that whole space of that circle. So you don't want to fill the whole circle. So again, we're just going to kind of push it down into almost fill this space. And then we're going to actually whack this tray once I get this full, because we want to make sure there's no air bubbles in here at all. And you can see how this dough kind of finds its own level, so that is a nice consistency. After we whip those egg whites nice and firm, they end up being really loose. And then what we're going to do at this point is just go whack it hard on the counter and then turn it once and give it 2 more whacks before it goes in the oven. And these are going to go in for about 18 minutes. At the end of 18 minutes, oh, look at those. Oh my goodness. They look really, really good, and you can see the little foot. I don't know what you call it, but I was taught to call that a little foot that develops. I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, look how perfect they are. Oh my goodness. So what we want to see is the parchment paper able to peel easily off of these. Oh, those look so good. Gorgeousness. So let's just take a quick peek if we can, but without damaging them. So if you lift one up, and oh, that's still a little sticky. I'm going to put those in for like another minute, carefully. So let's just take a peek. Oh yeah, see? Perfect. So as long as you don't underbake them, they should come right off. So anywhere between 18 and 20 minutes. Check them at 18, and these were just right at 19.5. And they're just as light as air. They're so perfect. I can't wait to fill these and taste them. I'm gonna let them cool all the way down. Meanwhile, I have made my favorite chocolate fudge filling that we're gonna fill them with. You can fill these with, I've even just used buttercream, which is just like a kind of a Cool Whip almost icing filling that you can use, that you can buy at the store. You can use your favorite buttercream. You could make a creme anglaise. So whatever you want to use to fill these, cream puff type filling. But I'm going to do chocolate, so these will be pink vanilla with chocolate filling. And some obviously are going to do this. I had a couple that cracked while they cooked, which is totally fine, because those will be my tester cookies, because of course you have to test them, right? And then these are going to get wrapped up and given as gifts for Valentine's Day. Okay, these have cooled off quite a bit, so we're going to go ahead and just make sure you remove them all from the paper. And look at that little foot. That is called, that's what I've always thought it was called anyway, the foot, which is the sign of a perfect macaron. And do not confuse these with macarons, which are also delicious, but these are not. Macarons are a coconut egg white cookie that I also make at Christmas, and I will share that recipe at some point, probably later this year. They are also amazing, but nothing. This is not the same thing in any way. These are macaron, and they're pretty delicate. They have a little, kind of a shell texture on top, and if you bump them with your fingernail or your knife or whatever, you will put a little dent or a ding in them. So kind of treat them with care. Just to show you what these look like inside before we start filling them. See, they've got a nice outside, but look at inside. They have this wonderful crackly top and then a soft, chewy center. So we're going to put icing between these. And since Aunt Steph was not planning ahead when she decided to make these cookies today, I don't have any icing bags. So we are going to be using my chocolate fudge filling that I made, and I'm just going to be using a small spatula with the filling really soft so I can spread it. Normally you would do this with a piping bag and you would carefully pipe these full. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do instead. So what you're going to do is just turn one over, and piping bag or icing, whichever you're going to do. And this is what also happens if you don't sift your sugar, because I have little lumps of sugar in my filling, but this is just for family, so it's okay. And you don't want it super thick, but just an even, uniform layer. And again, you want this soft enough to spread easily because you'll end up just breaking these cookies right up. Take another half, and we're just going to give them just the littlest press, just so that filling kind of, you can see it looking like a French beautiful cookie. And then what I'm going to do with this to set this filling up a little firmer, I'm going to put these in the refrigerator, and we will come back and taste one here in a little bit. Meantime, let's go ahead and finish filling these. And these are ready to go in the fridge just to set the filling up a little bit. And then they're best eaten at room temp. But if you're going to store them for a while, I actually do keep them in the fridge for a few days. Just bring them up to room temp before you eat them. And now we are going to try one. So let's try this and see. And I showed you how gooey and soft the insides are, but just... Oh my goodness. You can do this at home and you don't have to fly to Paris. Oh my gosh. What is it, 6 ingredients? Stuff you have in your house and a little bit of patience with the egg whites. This is heaven. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like a crackle outside, soft and chewy inside. You can make whatever filling flavor you want. You can do endless combinations of flavors with this. I've had these from Paris. These are just as good. Make them at home.